This is only if you are a parent. Now, if you're a parent, this question might hit home for you. Can I still retire early after covering or funding my kids' education? Once you hit your mid-30s or early 40s, if you are married and then you have kids, and you will naturally start thinking about your future, even if they are just toddlers. Being a father myself, I know, right? So like this, right? Parents, and then hit their 40s, they get a high-paying job, they get promoted, their income, it just jump by leaps and bounds, and they say something like, my finances have recently improved and we have some extra cash to invest for retirement for our daughter's future. So further, he said, I started looking into ways to boost my financial know-how. But the main issue is with financial planning is that I have a clear goal, but I have no clear path of how to get there. Now for context, client household income is near to about 1 million ringgit a year. Both of them earning about the same. It's a dual income household with kids. Client is pretty aware of what's important, but the challenge is figuring out how to balance retiring early and also funding their kids' education, or maybe even future kids from now all the way through college. So this is just another day of solving T20 problem. And you might think, wow, you earning 1 million household income. What's the problem, right? Sure, I could say it's a first world problem, maybe a T20 or even T1% problem. But it is still a problem. When clients come to us, we always look at their financial situation, we listen, we don't judge. We just want to solve it for you, whatever kind of problem that you have that you feel stuck, right? And this is our approach. Because if you tell friends, co-workers, or even relatives that you're earning this much, and they will judge you. You say, you're earning so high income, what problem do you have? Right? And I can say that it's really lonely at the top, especially if you're a corporate or what you're earning, have certain net worth of income, because people cannot relate to you when they are not earning as much as you, or they don't have that kind of money as much as you. But we can totally relate to that as advisor. So this is how we're going to solve their problem. After we map out their retirement plan or retirement roadmap, considering their income, expenses, assets, and liabilities, we have to look at everything. This is how it looks like. Of course, we account for inflation and their future financial goals. The thing is, in this baseline scenario, they are not expected to run out of money, even if they live beyond 100 years old. But nobody expects to live that long. As long as they keep earning money, stay in their high-paying job until 60, which sometimes may not be realistic, especially company will there's retrenchment and all that going on. But then that is just something unknown. Maybe will happen in the future, but we don't know that yet. But as of now, there's really no problem. But then once they see the numbers, the first baseline scenario, and really they want to consider to retire early now to ensure there's enough for their kids' education as well. Specifically, starting international school soon. Why international school? You ask. No specific reason. It's just because they can afford it. Sebab boleh lah. Many Asian parents, if they can afford it, they want to give their kids the best education possible. Can you relate? For example, I have clients who are parents and they can afford private local university in Malaysia. If they can afford that comfortably, easily, they might think about, hey, now can I send my kids overseas or not? And then for those who can afford overseas education for their kids, might now consider enrolling their kids in international school starting now, and that could cost like 30,000 to 50,000 a year depending on what year you are in, right? So in this case, our advisory just show them that whether they can or cannot start international school for their kid, assuming in this case they only have one kid, right? Factor in, of course, the fee schedule and the inflation for international school from a preschool until year 11. Expecting the kid to be in a full international school before going to university, right? And this is the scenario. They say that you can afford that actually. They might only risk of running out of money in their mid-90s. Which is, again, pretty good scenario since, as I say, most people don't expect to live that long anyway. Now, once they know that they can comfortably achieve this, the next thing that they are also eyeing for in their neighborhood, they want to buy, upgrade their home, a 2.5 million property. And then they ask, can we afford it? Based on their income today, of course, no problem, right? But the other question they're asking is, if you're going to go forward with this property, take a loan and all that, they want to know the impact on their financial decision on their retirement fund if they work until 60. So if we run the numbers and we show them there's still no real problem, you can afford it, the impact is not severe, and they really care about knowing this, sending their kid international school and allocate enough budget for the university, they still can do that after buying this new home of 2.5 million. Still, this scenario show them they are not likely to run out of money until in their late 80s, which is still good. But then they will asking for more. They also want to have a better work-life balance because the wife is very stressed at work. If you are getting a salary of $500,000, that really doesn't leave a lot of time to relax. They're considering become a single income household with the wife taking a career break temporarily or even retire early as soon as possible and focus on raising their daughter or even plan for another kid. And they want to see what kind of scenario the combination is the most feasible. So what the message I'd like to share with you that usually, or a lot of people with high income, you can do anything with the right planning and the right strategy, but not everything at once. This is another scenario we chart out for them. Show them if the wife stops working immediately, they now would risk running out of money in their early 70s, which is not ideal. So considering that buying that new property of 2.5 million, and if they're sticking to their goals of sending now their only daughter to international school, it seems like this would be the eventual risk or outcome that they will only encounter 30 years from now. So it's not acceptable, so we explore another scenario. And we say that what if the wife, instead of retire immediately with zero income, what if you take a 50% pay cut in a job which is less stressful? Can they still afford to do everything? Now this scenario shows them that yes, it seems that they can pull this off. Their retirement funds might only run out in their late 70s, assuming that they both work until 60. So no early retirement and the wife takes a pay cut. But then there's another one important areas in their personal finances to look at, their investment, which we came to a conclusion that it's not really working hard enough for them. They're working very hard, their investment are not. We show them a scenario that by making their money work harder, they could extend the retirement funds beyond 80s. This one. If you're working hard, earning that kind of income, $1 million a year, shouldn't your money work equally hard, if not harder? See, this is the visual roadmap to show them. So as it stands right now, this roadmap is good enough. They are open for review every year because we have not factored in, additional income like yearly bonuses over the years, or they can even get a higher salary. Or actually, if the wife changed jobs, maybe she would not even suffer a 50% pay cut, right? But the most important thing is I help them solve the immediate problems, the medium-term problems, buying a house, whether they can afford the house, sending kids to international school. And all this, I'm giving them a clarity and a peace of mind of what is possible for them today. The next long-term problem, in the next 30, 40 years, we have ample of ways and time to address it. So initially, they thought they could retire early, but with their short to medium term goals of upgrading their house, sending their kids to international school, and funding the kids' overseas education, plus the wife also said want to take pay cut, and they realize actually they can't retire early if they want to accomplish all that. However, if the wife can find a work-life balance in another position with a lower salary, then her desire to retire early might not be as strong already. So in conclusion, I help them evaluate the long-term impact of their financial decisions, doing the cause and effect analysis or impact analysis, looking at their income, expenses, and also expected retirement lifestyle, accounting for inflations and what they already have, what they will be accumulating in the next few years or decades. So I chart out these scenarios to ensure that they don't run out of money before they run out of life. We stress test their finances to see how much they can spend without risking their retirement funds. And remember, money is not everything, but you can't do anything without money. However, you can only say this, of course, after you reach a certain level of net worth or earning a certain level of income, then your priorities will actually shift to, hey, my salary job pattern might not be the most important anymore. You level up to say, your other things in your life equally important, your mental health, physical health, free time, and really liking what you do. They first decided to engage a professional like myself because they feel stuck. They just want to bounce off ideas, get second opinion, and validate their thinking before making informed decisions, instead of wasting time doing trial and error. Okay, which could be disastrous. You don't want to do that, right? And this is the exact value that they are getting in terms of planning for their retirement and giving the best they can that they can afford for their kids. And of course, the scenario may change if they have another kid, whether it's intentionally or not, or by accident, right? It's really a balancing act. But now they know, and they would not make a very rush or wrong decision to retire early. And that's the power of planning, that's the power of retirement advisory and children's education planning, because you can see how today's financial decisions impact your retirement landscape decades from now. You might even need to overhaul your finances sometimes, but as of now, you can clearly see that the benefit is like having a crystal ball. How much money you are leaving on the table if you just do nothing, and or worse, you're running out of money, making the wrong financial decisions in life, and ultimately that could cause you to run out of money before running out of life in your 60s, 70s. And this is one of the many types of advisory where we help our clients make better decisions, informed money decisions to reduce financial leakages, make their money work harder, more efficiently. There's a link, you can check out our client's testimonial, scope of services advice that we provide. Just follow for more past and future videos like this if you want to see them on your feed.